wasn't too bad.
Sonic 2. Obviously, this is one we were looking forward to. A lot of you guys were looking forward to this movie because of the inclusion of a couple characters that we have been hoping and waiting to join this cinematic universe, Knuckles and Tails.
Tails was my favorite in the game.
And Tails is my favorite in the movie, but it is very much tied as well with Knuckles.
Yeah, no, I feel like, Idris Elba is, I feel underrated how funny he is. And in this, he reminds me of like a pint-sized Drax, where he's like super serious, like an Egon, where he's super serious and he's like keeps everything seriously. But that's why he's funny, and he has a lot of fun with it. And I think that I think that's what this movie does well. That I do like the fact that, unlike the first one, which I was a fan of, I thought it was a fun movie. This one really embraces the Sonic lore, which is what the fans really want, and I think they do a good job of that.
It's true. I felt like it was very organic from the first movie to this movie, and then bringing all of the Easter eggs of Sonic into the movie, because you like it when they do it organically, and they have different points where you're like, oh, that makes sense for them to use it in this point, and that does happen in the story, instead of just kind of shoehorning that like, oh yeah, that is part of the game, but it doesn't feel like it fit in the story that they're trying to tell. I feel like they did a very good job at some of the things that from the game, putting it into this movie.
And I love that they kicked up Dr. Robotnik Eggman to the next level. You saw that at the end of the first movie, that we were going to get more of that traditional Dr. Robotnik. Jim Carrey once again turning it up to 11. He's over the top, he's crazy. He is a comic book character of Jim Carrey, much like he did in the 90s, like when he was The Mask. And you do get that here, and again, I appreciated it. He felt like a threat, he felt dangerous, as did Knuckles. But again, like you guys were saying, with Knuckles having a good time, he does have more of a good time in the latter half of the film, just in terms, because he's very strong and stoic for the first half of the movie, but then he lets his hair down.
Yeah, that last act of the film, the last third, I think, is just like, I thought it was a lot of fun, there's a lot of cool action, and when you see, the more you get of the three of them, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails interacting, the better the movie is.
Absolutely. And there is a mid-credit scene. Actually, it's they show a little bit of like game footage representing the movie, then there's a scene, and then it's credits, and there's nothing at the very end, so you don't have to stay all the way to the end. There is an aspect of the movie though, and it was kind of my criticism with the first movie, where it comes to the human element. For me, there is a whole scene that I just did not really care for.
Yeah.
The Hawaii scene. If you check it out in the trailers, there's a whole excursion to Hawaii that I just felt like it was filling time, and I was not a fan. I kind of checked out throughout the whole thing, because I do feel like, yes, I understand there are human elements to this movie if we're going to make that live action mixed in with CG, but this one was far too spoof level for me, to where I just did not engage with the human characters, and I wanted to get back to the other.
It takes a turn where you're just like,
yeah,
wait, why did you do any of this?
Yeah.
The movies is at its strongest when you are focusing on Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic, and Dr. Robotnik. So focusing more on them, you'll enjoy those
And
parts.
it feels like they did like a weird correction, because about like halfway through the movie, they kind of just ditched the human characters almost entirely. We barely see them for the rest of the film.
It's true, and honestly, it kind of felt better that way. But either way, there are some jokes from the first movie, plenty of Easter eggs, like Vanessa said. If you know the Sega games, if you know the Sonic lore, there's plenty for you to chomp on, to where I kept leaning over, getting super excited of the references that they were calling back. But Sonic 2, did you guys check it out? If you did, let us know what you thought in the comments below. You can also like and subscribe.
And did the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and Discord.
All the social networking joints, you know where they are. Everybody, you can find Chance in the description of this video, all his social networking gin joints. Thank you so much, and as always,
Now it's time to say goodbye.
this party is over.
Bye.
Bye.